Tommy Norris's past and early years are revealed in Landman Season 2, and it's more depressing than we might have imagined. In Landman Season 2, Tommy's father, T.L. Norris, is introduced. The elderly former oil rigger serves as a window into the secrets of Tommy's past, which help to explain who he became. Tommy found out his mother had passed away at the conclusion of the second season of Landman. Tommy's mother has not yet been identified in Taylor Sheridan's popular Paramount Plus oil drama, but Landman Season 2, Episode 2 opens with Tommy and his son Cooper Norris organizing her funeral and selecting her coffin. Tommy and Cooper's next destination is the gloomy old people's house, where T.L. Norris spends his melancholy evenings gazing at the setting sun in the backyard. It's evident that Cooper has no relationship with his grandfather. In addition to Tommy's estrangement from T.L. Tommy's encounter with his father reveals a lot about him to Cooper and Landman's audience. Tommy's heartfelt encounter with his father was made even more depressing by the details of his early years spent with his mother and T.L. Tommy's mother was a cocaine addict, and both Norris men found it impossible to live with her. But T.L. was also a bad dad. During the day, T.L. Norris worked on oil rigs. At home, a mix of grief, alcohol, and annoyance caused T.L. to abuse Tommy violently. It's possible, even likely, that T.L. also became violent with his wife, even though it wasn't made clear. T.L. Norris worked himself to become crippled, and he is currently confined to a wheelchair. Even though he was separated from his wife, T.L. lamented their marriage long before she passed away. He hates himself for his shortcomings as a husband and father and looks at the sunset every day. Tommy's identity is largely explained by his journey away from his parents and into adulthood. Tommy is straightforward and practical, and it's evident from Landman Season 2, Episode 2 that he made an effort to move past his difficult upbringing. Tommy's past experiences have made him a stronger person. Tommy is a better father than he believes. Landman's Norris men. Cooper and Tommy's drive home from their visit to T.L. in Sins of the Father was one of the most moving scenes in Landman Season 2 so far. Tommy informs Cooper that he wasn't meant to be a father and that he must support the child if he wishes to raise Ariana's child or his own, as Cooper takes in what he has learned about his grandfather. However, Cooper reassured Tommy that his father was good enough for him, soothing his tormented soul. Tommy believes that, like T.L., he was an insufficient and absent parent, but this is untrue. Cooper's admiration for his father and Tommy's daughter Ainsley's love for her father serve as evidence. Even though Tommy wasn't there for Cooper and Ainsley every day when they were growing up, it's clear from how his kids feel about him that he was there for them when he did. Despite their years apart, Tommy's ex-wife, Angela, also loves him and has never poisoned their children against him. Tommy Norris had an abusive upbringing, but despite the fact that he will always be haunted by his terrible past, Tommy's decisions and deeds in Landman make him a far better parent than the people who gave birth to him. After Landman Season 2, Episode 2, Tommy Norris' issues are already becoming worse, and there are some significant revelations from the most recent episode to consider. In the Landman Season 2 premiere, Tommy was already coping with his mother's passing, but now he also has to deal with his father. Additionally, Cooper is adding to his already burdensome issues with M-Tex. But Tommy's issues are far from over. An old villain from Tommy's past just reappeared in his life. Angela and Ainsley were in prison at the retirement community, and Monty had many secrets that were revealed after his passing. Tommy had a lot of new problems to deal with in Landman Season 2, Episode 2, and it's worth looking into each one more thoroughly. At the very end of Landman Season 2, Episode 2, the most significant development occurred. Tommy spent the entirety of Episode 2 attempting to ascertain the identity of Sonrisa, the financial company that had supported Cooper's acquisition and drilling operations on his small land holdings. Eventually, Neil found Sonrisa's leader, and even though it was only a photo, Tommy could easily identify them. It was evident that Sonrisa was founded by Galino, the cartel leader from Landman Season 1, even though they didn't mention his name. Despite using the alias Dan Morel, Galino's picture was on the form. It appears that Galino has a public persona as a Dallas financier in addition to being a prominent member of a Mexican cartel. Galino prevented Tommy from being killed by cartel boss Jimenez at the conclusion of Landman Season 1. Galino told Tommy that the cartel wanted to collaborate closely with him as they entered the oil business after saving him. Additionally, Galeno made it apparent that Tommy would have no say in the situation, even though it appears that he hasn't spoken to Tommy since Landman Season 2. Cooper is in the worst situation possible because Galeno founded Sonrisa. Cooper's too-good-to-be-true contract terms indicate that Galeno and his cartel most likely have something illegal in mind for Cooper and his wells. Although it's too soon to tell what kind of trouble Cooper is in or how Tommy will fit into Galeno's plans, it's safe to say that Tommy and Cooper will face many challenges. It's evident from episode 2 that Monty's offshore natural gas rig deal will be a major issue in Landman Season 2, so it's important to learn more. Unfortunately, understanding the deal's specifics requires familiarity with the oil industry and is complicated by financial figures and legal jargon. Fortunately, Landman provided enough details for the audience to understand the main points of the situation. A hurricane destroyed Monty's offshore gas rig. Following the natural disaster, his insurance company paid out $420 million, but it was legally mandated that the funds be used to rebuild the oil rig. While the rig was being rebuilt, Monty somehow persuaded the insurance company to pay the entire amount in one lump sum rather than in installments. In Landman Season 1, however, Monty used the $420 million to purchase new oil fields. Cammy, Tommy, and M-Tex are now responsible for using $420 million that they do not have to rebuild an offshore oil rig that they were unaware of. M-Tex still needs to rebuild the rig, but Rebecca was able to find enough flaws in the insurance company's breach of contract lawsuit to prevent a trial. Additionally, they have a very short window of time to restart the rig because Monty ought to have started repairs before he passed away. In episode 2, Sam Elliott, who plays Taylor Norris, the largest new addition to the Landman cast, also made some significant revelations. Although we were already aware that TL is Tommy's father, the most recent episode provided us with additional details about Tommy's upbringing and their relationship. Let's just say that Tommy didn't have wonderful parents or a wonderful upbringing. TL was an abusive alcoholic, as was partially revealed in Landman Season 2, Episode 2. Tommy said that in an oil field, TL worked himself almost to death until his leg and back were destroyed. Additionally, he said that Tommy would be beaten up by TL for his mistakes. For his part, TL believes Tommy simply robs people and doesn't do a good job. Tommy's mother, Dorothy, was no better. Tommy clarified that Dorothy had a cocaine addiction when he was younger and that it is reasonable to assume she had dementia later in life because she passed away in a memory care facility. According to TL, Dorothy's addiction destroyed the aspect of her that he loved and transformed her into a cruel person he believed was headed to hell. It appears that Tommy moved both of his parents into retirement communities as quickly as possible. When Cammy went to Monty's former office and started looking through his desk and computer, it was one of the more perplexing scenes in Landman Season 2, Episode 2. Landman did not disclose what, if anything, she discovered at Monty's office, and she did not specify what she was searching for. Fortunately, some context clues allow us to deduce what she probably discovered.